Hello, everybody, and welcome to Live from Beyond. I'm the GM, Kevin, and tonight we're playing Shadowrun, a module called Best Served Cold. We are not playing the Shadowrun system itself, but we are playing an Apocalypse World hack called Sixth World. It's available online. Anyways, before we get into things, why don't you guys introduce yourselves? Who you're playing?
Alright, my name is Kim, and I'm playing Tusks, the troll hacker.
Hello, everybody.
I
think I go. I think I know. I think you're gonna.
All right, why don't you go?
Yeah, and then it'll be Martin Luther King, and then it'll be Corinth. All right,
Wait
we
your
all
turn.
happy?
No, nobody's happy.
You're just a human, all right. You go last. I'm Anathema. I'm Aaron. I'm playing Anathema, or I could be Anathema, whatever works. Either way, I'm an unconscious elven shaman with murderous air elemental that's floating around killing people or something.
Hello, I'm Nick, and I'm playing King, who is some kind of ex-cop dude who's like a little bit bumbling, a lot bit curious, and a shit fuck ton ugly.
Racist.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yes, and also I'm super racist.
Hi, everybody. My name is Alex, and I'm playing Corinth, who is a street samurai who happens to share a body with a 15-year-old.
Also, you're a dirty human.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
he's like 15% or 20% human.
Yeah, like 15%.
80% machine or something.
So to jump into things, so we're gonna sort of review where things are, but I'll set the scene to begin with. So you guys are the van is squealing away down the road into the reservation. You guys just were in a firefight with I guess you assume the mafia, and it went all right. It went all right. Anathema is bleeding. There's a pool of blood forming in the bottom of the van. MLK is, I guess, like hanging out of the passenger side door, like trying to get it closed. And Tusks is got his gigantic troll foot on the gas. There's gunshots rattling off the side of the van, but it seems that you guys are more or less away and safe-ish, with your various conditions. So. We're going to jump into some character questions as we'd like to start off the sessions, and we will start off with Corinth. Corinth, your alter ego is just beneath the surface, scratching at your consciousness. Whose actions have him psyched up, and what was it, and what are they doing?
Now, when you say alter ego, I mean they're both pretty in
True.
control. So which one are you talking about?
So when I wrote the question, I imagined the violent one, the assassin. But you can take it however you want.
Okay, so the assassin, I'll go with that way. So Corinth's thoughts that keep make him a little bit unhappy about his current party members would have to be Tusks, because
He's a troll? Racist?
No, it has nothing to do with the fact that he's a troll, but when it seemed like when his teammates needed him, he kind of was, I don't know, like punching thing in his computer, and it's like there seemed to be a lot going on, and Tusks wasn't contributing as much as Corinth believed he could contribute.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's not like I'm driving the getaway van, but yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
understand.
Yeah, but have we
Literally
gotten away
all
yet?
alive because of me, but yeah,
All right.
all right.
Well, that lines up pretty nicely with my next question. I don't know about you guys, but I get the impression that at heart, Tusks is a warrior. What is?
Wait, a warrior or a worrier?
A warrior.
Get
Wait,
it.
which one? A or an O? A or an O?
So right now, Tusks
He's
has
ignoring you.
a number of scenarios running through his head. What's the worst case scenario?
Warrior.
Wait, I'm sorry. The worst or the worse?
So what's the worst case scenario right now?
Yeah, what's really got Tusks on edge at the moment? I mean, there's a lot of bad things going on. There's a lot of ins and outs, a lot of what have yous.
Well, other than the fact that Corinth doesn't really seem to be contributing at all.
Wow.
Yes,
Reverse racism.
Besides that, yeah. Oh, so I guess Tusks is starting to realize that like this whole job seems to be like a giant setup that's just gonna get like the whole group, and most importantly, Tusks killed for like some bullshit that they didn't really have anything to do with.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, King. It's a tough world out there. Nobody's perfect, especially not you. You've had your good days, you've had your bad. Today,
I've had good days. Jesus.
today was a bad day. One of many.
Yeah.
But it's not always you in that spot. One time, you remember, you helped a guy out who's down on his luck, having a shitty day, rain clouds over his head. But that's not today. But you remember that day. Tell me about it.
Well, let me tell you about it. Back when I was on the force,
Good
which
idea.
was not always a good, not always a pleasant time in my life, right? It was a bit rough and tumble. But there was this rookie, and he made a mistake. You might almost call it a rookie mistake. And I'm not going to go into the details, but basically he fudged up so hard that the bosses were looking at axing him, right? And this was like fresh out of the academy, green but raring to go, and he was just crushed because he knew that he was like on a knife edge. So I took the guy out back and I like roughed him up a little bit, and I said, "Listen, what? What'd you say?"
You took him out back and shot him in the head.
No, bro. I roughed him up a little bit, and I said, "Listen, rookie. You're gonna have to toughen up at some point. You're gonna make it through this shit because you're gonna go in there. You're gonna go see the captain. You're gonna tell him exactly why you're so damn good at your job. You're gonna make sure you stay on this force, and someday you'll end up as bitter and fucked up as me,
Sunday.
and you'll be glad you stayed here." And the guy took it to heart. And I mean, he got shot in the line of duty like 3 years later, but he was still a cop when he got shot.
All right.
Technically.
Wow, downer ending there.
All right. Anathema, you're on death's door. It's not looking great. But every Shadowrunner has in the back of their mind that this could happen one day. Have you made any preparations for such a time? Is there any business you're upset that would remain unfinished? What are your preparations and fears towards death should it come today?
I mean, I'm a bit bothered that like Corinth punked out on my last request, but other than that,
I didn't hear that. Your elemental heard you.
from dust we arise, and to dust we must return. So,
Okay.
don't worry about it. It's not like I've got like a lot of money to worry about passing on to someone or a family or anything.
Okay.
So I'm curious, and you can deny it if you want, but I have a question for the GM.
Okay.
And I wonder if the GM would like to answer a question.
Absolutely. I
You
would
so
love that.
rarely get to. Okay. So my question is this: if there were one thing that you think is like a subtle but important key to the cohesion of our group, what is it?
Not killing each other.
That's a good question.
Anathema being conscious.
Damn it, we're missing our key.
I think the key to the group is that you each pretty conveniently hold a key skill or role in the group. So Tusks is really good at getting information.
Driving.
Corinth is pretty good at murder, and I guess probably stealth should it arise. Anathema has got some magical backup in the leadership, and King is both good at getting into trouble and putting the words on people and getting the old fashioned investigation stuff done. So I think the key dynamic is you guys working that machine that Shadowrun Voltron without getting into each other's way. Or
Well
that
said.
encouraging each other.
What
to-
happens if one of your key components is unconscious and bleeding to death?
Then you need
I guess we'll see.
Who's the Voltron head?
Yeah, well, that's about right.
Didn't show up today.
I'm gonna go change my move. God damn it. Anyway,
I
go
mean-
ahead.
Sure. Okay, so
Did we get another move?
Well, we
No, I don't-
did previously. I don't know that we got anything after the last time.
Last week,
Yeah.
we did a whatever it's called.
Yeah.
all right, so your van is sort of rumbling through the reservation here. The last rays of sunset, or make the sky like a brilliant orange. And give me what everybody's doing, Anathema. Since you are unconscious, we know what you're doing. Is somebody tending you? I guess Tusks is driving. Is Tusks? Tell me what the haps are in this van. What are the battle stations here?
Tusks is driving like with I don't know, a quarter of his attention on the road and the rest in the digital space, trying to figure out what's been going on, whether we've been played, that kind of thing. Doing a lot of googling.
Okay.
Corinth is meditating and cleaning his weapons. And I guess MLK Jr. Boulevard is, I suppose, trying to patch me up, but
Okay.
whether or not that's at all effectual remains to be seen.
Okay. Cool. All right. So, who wants to go first on that? Well, okay. So, before we jump into who wants to go first, So I just wanted to recap real quick the situation at hand, just to it's fresh in your guys' mind. So, if you remember, you got hired by Jared Falcone to investigate a kidnapping. You've followed the leads down. And you've come into contact with what you assume is a group of probably Shadowrunners of Sioux, I guess nationality, whatever. And you met with them. They didn't seem totally hostile to you, and they seem like they've said they have possession of Belinkai, however we're pronouncing that this week.
Just call me B-Dog.
You ran afoul of the mob, and that has come back to bite you at least once, perhaps more. You have come into contact with someone in cyberspace.
We don't even have the mob's data anymore, so I don't know what they're pissed at us for.
You don't
I
have
think
what?
MLK.
Yeah.
Oh,
They also killed a bunch of them, which the mob doesn't really take
Did
kindly
we?
to.
When?
Yeah, well, if we had just
Yeah, I think
finished
we
the
did.
friggin' job, then they would never friggin' know. Then your
Okay.
van full of people out to the Badlands of the Sioux, and it doesn't come back. You don't assume that it's some random group of 5 Shadowrunners. 4,
Fair enough.
3. I don't know how many of us there are.
Well, we
Okay.
don't have a street dock. I can tell you that
It depends on how many parts. How much does all the organs
Parkour.
in Michael's bag count as? It's like a person.
Well, it counts as one full person's worth of organs. We went over this.
Mm-hmm.
He has
So
enough
do we have the
to
bag?
change out an entire person's.
I mean, that's pretty impressive.
That is.
You met a hacker, like I said, in cyberspace. He didn't really elaborate on his motivations. You're not really sure what his connection to the everything is. I think there's some leads there. And,
The Void?
Yeah. And he gave you the RFID number of the tag that he said is embedded in Belinkai, and you guys are currently following that. Am I forgetting anything else?
So, sorry, are we
Yeah.
actually following that? Is that the direction we took off in, or did we take off in the get the hell out of here direction?
I think we were going towards the.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
we're
I
going,
mean,
across the
Tusk.
park.
That's what he's googling right now. He's on Google Maps.
You're going across the park to do it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, pretty much. We got a course laid in for
where I wanted to go.
Balinki and
Yeah,
his RFID.
And we're hoping these guys don't pursue us right now.
They seemed a bit in disarray as you left. There was still an elemental acting a fool, and I think you slew Ramses. Is that right, Corinth?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
one other guy or something like that.
There's
Yeah,
just
a bunch
little
of people got
dwarf
killed.
Shit.
For sure, you killed a bunch of people. Yeah. So tell me, elaborate. Who wants to tell me what you're doing?
All right,
I'm
so like
bleeding.
Tusk's like, he's got the directions laid in, and like slams the van into the next gear, and it like kind of speeds up, and he like kind of glances back into the back of the van, and he's like, is he gonna make it?
Well, I don't know. Why don't you give me a guts check here?
Me?
Yep.
That's a mistake.
We know how this is gonna turn out.
Oh, I gotta get out that other thing.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
that's a 7.
Not
That turned out a lot better than I
Not
expected.
dead yet.
All right.
I don't know what
How
that
are you
fucking
gonna
does.
play this? This is a good
No,
7.
you're fine, but you got to choose 2, and I'm gonna say, I'm gonna add another one. I'm gonna say you're still bleeding, and you definitely need medical attention, and you're gonna take -2 going forward on moves, but you are awake.
So I don't get to choose?
I
You're
mean,
choosing them for me?
You chose him.
I don't want you to pass out again. I think
Because
that's
I would have chosen to pass out again. There's like no question.
Yeah, I think it was a good thing that Kevin chose.
okay.
So
Yeah, I don't want you to pass out. I think that's boring.
So
Okay.
I want to know what Tusk sees on his Google Maps ahead of us, because I'm trying to understand exactly where we're going.
Yeah, so you guys are headed through the reservation, which is not, or the park, whatever it is, which is not huge. I mean, it's a couple miles, but it's not like expansive. And the other side, Tusks, you see what looks like it'd be extremely charitable to call it a town, but like a series of buildings on the other side of the res, right? Like right where like you can, it's not preserved anymore, so you can build shit. There's like some buildings there. It looks like one of them is a storage facility. One of them is like like a convenience store, more or less. There's like a gas station there. That's sort of like a collection of like 5 or 6 buildings at an intersection right outside the reservation.
Is that
And it
this-
looks-
is that where like this RFID tag is leading us?
Yeah, so it looks like there's a storage facility / warehouse there, and the RFID tag seems to be pointed there.
All right,
do these
so
buildings look like temporary, or are these like
No, these are permanent
real-ass buildings? Okay.
They're real ass buildings, yeah. I mean, it doesn't look like they're, this is not like a resort. This is like kind of like, a place that's not maybe not in disrepair, but like not new, not shiny, kind of a shitty
Do
place.
we have we like? Would we know anything about this, or is this way too esoteric for anybody to be like, oh yeah, there's like a little town in front of there?
I think it's a little too esoteric. You could always try to look it up.
yeah, I mean, Tusks will kind of try to pull up whatever he can on this little. Well, that he's also kind of yelling back into the carcass hole like this building. This is it. This is where it's leading us.
Yeah, so I mean,
all right then.
it's not even really a town. It's just like a fucking little shitty ass place.
Yeah.
You can't find too much information on it. You find like a website for the stuffer shack that's there. You find a website for the Smith and Co. storage facility. Seems like there's an abandoned like church there, but that's it.
We recognize any of the names on those websites?
Yeah, I mean, you guys have heard of Stuffer Shack before, for sure.
As we kind of approach the town, is there people around?
Yeah, so
And also,
As
are
you
we
approach-
like being followed, or did we manage to kind of leave the?
Yeah. So you don't see anybody immediately behind you. As you travel through the reservation, it's you don't have like full visibility like miles back, right? So it's possible someone could be following you, and it's more like a as you get in, it becomes more of like an asphalt road instead of a dirt trail. Seems you came in from like a less developed side of the park.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So you don't see anybody behind you, but that doesn't mean that nobody's.
Okay. I mean, once we're like not or it's obvious that we're not being followed, I'll kind of like slow down to a normal speed,
Okay.
so as to maybe not cause too much suspicion. I don't know if it's like really weird that we're like driving out of the woods or something like that, but
Kev, for those of us that don't have bags of organs, is it possible to somehow help Anathema like heal or something like that line? I mean, I have a medic patch. It's one of my items that I bought with monies.
What does that do?
Yeah.
What does it do?
It
You gotta tell
heals
us.
2.
Like, we didn't actually do any of the damage things. Kevin just knocked me instantly to the brink of death. So I don't know, like, what kind of damage I'm at or what kind of.
Listen,
Like,
if the GM can play fast and loose like this,
No.
all right, Alex uses his medic patch, and you're fine.
well, I mean, there isn't that many. I don't know if this system is different than regular Powered by the Apocalypse, but there isn't actually that many like damage stages, right? It's like
But there's usually only
I
like
think there's
3
actually
different stages, right?
significantly more in this one. I'm not
okay.
sure about that, but I think you have like 8 to 10 like hit points, and all the things do damage, and like there's stun damage. There's a lot more grit in terms of the life and combat in this one than there is in normal
Alright.
PBA.
That's true. That's true. Maybe I apologize. We were wrapping up the session. I didn't want to get into the nitty gritty.
No, it was fine because at the time I was kind of like, all right, look, let's just go out in a blaze of gunfire. But now that
Okay.
we're like not actually going out in a blaze of gunfire, it may be
Fair enough.
appropriate. To
you feel
adjust.
you feel much better now.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so there is to bring everything back full circle. There's a first aid move. It's a regular move.
Yeah, but the first aid is, I mean, like, we can easily modify it, but first aid is basically supposed to be like,
Do you
they're
die or
about to
not?
die. Right, and it's like, if you
Oh.
fail, they die. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think you could easily adapt that.
So
but
let's
I'm
try
just
that.
saying that's-
I like it. 50-50 chance.
Well,
He's
no,
like,
so it's-
awake and fine, but like, you know.
technically it's better than that. If you fail, they do a last chance. So they do a gut check, then you try to first aid them, and if both of those things fail, then they do a last chance move by burning their karma to find out whether they can like pull through miraculously. But it doesn't seem in any of these that like there's any thought given to how many points of HP you get back or like what the healing is or anything. It's just like, do you die or not? Which
Yeah.
I appreciate.
Well,
It's a good thing to know the answer to. It just seems like there is like a next step that wasn't thought about.
Why don't we
That's
just
true.
say
So
that
I'm
Alex's
looking at-
med pack brings you back to like not like the brink of death?
Yeah,
That's fine.
I mean, we'll yeah. So why don't you roll plus skilled, Alex, and we'll do this ad hoc. Listen,
Because while
we,
he's rolling,
we here at
he
Life
was
from
like-
Beyond are nothing if not sticklers for the rules. So
It basically, it looks like
I got a 9.
basically.
Kev.
Oh,
Okay.
that's pretty good. It
okay,
looks like the intent is that if you're not already almost dying, you should be able to recover. But like, it's been 10 minutes, so it's like.
It's alright. He's a fucking wizard.
so I'm gonna say that that this is successful, but it's gonna seriously deplete your med pack.
Okay.
Like you use up like all the gauze and
Okay,
like
so I
And
sit
both bandages.
like- so I sit there cross-legged in front of Anathema and just like very slowly like apply like pieces to. He has like giant wounds, and I like put like a tiny piece like on like one spot and like another
Oh, I
spot.
was-
But it's
I was
obviously-
hoping you were gonna like take your katana and like stick it in and like flip the bullet out.
Wow.
I think it's better that he's doing the thing he described.
So
Fine.
is the
What was
point
that about last chance moves?
Yeah,
That's the last chance.
I'll go ahead and burn all my karma right now.
does the 9 like leave Anathema horribly disfigured and
No,
like,
it's gonna use up
Not more
points,
so than he already is.
med pack.
I was just kind of hoping somebody else would be hideously.
No,
No,
that's just you.
We don't want to encroach on your thing.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's like none of us are going to
Fair
suddenly become racist. Like,
I suddenly became racist.
yeah, I know.
No, that's because we gave that to you.
that spot was open, so we gave it to you. You were
Yeah.
natural to have it. And you're shooing.
Wow,
Right.
thank you.
Okay, so
I'm gonna like pull up the van. You know, once we get into town, maybe like
sure.
a block or two down. I don't know how much there actually is. Maybe there's like a gas station or something like that. And I like.
Yeah, there's like a gas station there.
All right, I'll pull into the gas station, and you know, if Anathema's kind of coming to, I'll let him know that that you're or like Marcus down the street, and I don't know, go pretend to put gas in the van to act normal and shit.
Okay, yeah. So there's like as you pull up, there's like a big kind of well-muscled orc sitting in like a rocking chair out front of this old dusty gas station with like a hat down over his eyes that kind of like tips up as you approach, but he doesn't like get up or say anything or anything like that.
Yeah, I'll just play it cool and like fill up the gas.
Okay. Okay, cool. All right. So he's doing that. What is everybody else doing? You're down the block. You can see there's a sort of what looks like to be like a pretty sizable warehouse type building. It looks like it's probably at least 2 or 3 floors. It's definitely the biggest building in this little collection of.
It's got like a 1 month's for first rent sign out. I mean $1 for first month's rent.
Yeah, it's got some advertisements about like it. So it seems like during
Okay, I want to go.
tourist season, if this is the place where people come, that they would store anything they needed to store before they went into the park to hike or whatever, or anything like
I mean,
that.
sometimes you just gotta store like a mafia hitman,
Sure,
whatever.
that's true.
They probably don't ask too many questions, you know.
They just want their dollar.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, I don't have much in the way of like technology or anything, so I'm just gonna kind of like take out a toothpick out of nowhere and like put it in my teeth, like re-rumple my rumpled detective's hat, and then start like cleaning my Ruger Super Warhawk that I picked up off the desert floor right before we drove away.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. And Nathan, what are you doing?
Like pulling myself together
Okay.
a bit from being, on death's door now. And yeah, I don't know. That seems like a good thing to do at the moment.
Sounds good to me. Corinth, now that Anathema's a little bit more self-sufficient, what's your play?
So like Corey sits up and he kind of realizes like blood all over his hands, so he's kind of like, some of it is dry, some of it is not, and he's like looking at Anathema. He's like, "Oh my god, you look crazy," and he's like, "Is all this yours?" And he's like, Corey's like covered in blood from like the splash in the fight. He's like, "Holy moly!"
Yes, I may require a transfusion at some point.
Some one of those transfusion spirits.
That's not how that works.
Blood elemental.
I wish I had a blood elemental. Those are really useful. They're hard to get a hold of, though.
All right, so Tusks, you're all gassed up. I don't know what you guys want to do, but you let me know.
All right, yeah, I like toss the gas attendant orc a few credits for the gas, and I'll climb back in and say, all right, so what's the plan? I gotta look at Anathema.
Well, I think at this point it might be best to go find our wayward Blinky and that group of Sioux Shadowrunners and see, I guess, what's going on there. Although
We're just gonna march in there.
Well, the other option is to go back and march into, I don't know, Jared from Subway's office or whatever the heck his name is, and demand some explanation.
I'm pretty sure
You don't want to mess with him. Not with Corinth
Subway
around.
has disavowed all relationship with Jared, so you can't say that. The same
What are you
sentence
gonna say?
anymore.
You want to get sued?
Good luck.
That guy's been eating fresh a long time.
I guess
I don't know. This seems like a shitty situation. It seems pretty clear that we've been set up, and I hate
Haven't
for
we
us
been
to
set
put
up like
ourselves.
3 different ways?
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's why it's not like clear who we need to go. I don't know, hit on the head with a hammer. But
I guess the
gotta start
question is,
somewhere.
how are we going to get money out of this, right? Because one answer was like, if we get Blinky back or the B Dog, like
You mean
nobody's
how do
gonna
we
pay us,
how do we
basically.
get out of this without going down for like some kind of murder kidnapping charge?
I don't care about going down for murder kidnapping as long as my commissary is like super full, right? Like I want to get paid for this shit. So I don't remember who it was, but one of the last people we talked to was like, if you get B Dog back, like nobody's gonna pay you for that because like I don't know, the ransom isn't real. slash the people who theoretically were asked for the ransom don't have any money, slash the person who supposedly hired us is like not going to pay us anything. So
Right. So what he said was that
So maybe we can get
Jared
some.
Falcone.
Maybe we can get some
Jared
money
Fal-
from Belinky for saving him. He's supposed to be rich.
Well, but he's just got to wait out this like little bit of bullshit thing to get
Yeah.
back into his good graces at Weaponsmiths R Us.
yeah, it's also really unclear if he's actually like in danger that needs to be saved from, or if it's just like
He's saying we should
Right,
just
so-
actually kidnap
just
him and
hanging
hold him
out
for
while
ransom.
people.
So the crux of things seems to be this. I mean, I think there are some leads you could follow down, but the crux of things seems to be this. If the Shadowrunner team is to be believed, he's not in any danger and he will be returned. But he will be returned too late for the ransom that was left for Jared Falcone, and also, his deadline for you to return to him. Really, he also told you that Jared Falcone has, a video of you, kidnapping the victim, whether doctored or not, and he would.
No, we have no doctor.
That's right. No one's doctored. Well, I guess I've been doctored, but
Yeah.
You
poorly.
Quint isn't really a doctor.
So, right. So
Well,
I guess
neither was
right now
Vince,
the,
so.
the double bind seems to be either save Jared Falcone from a situation he doesn't really need, or not Jared Falcone, save Belinky from a situation he doesn't need saving from, and fight your way in, or don't and possibly be blackmailed / arrested for kidnapping.
Yeah, let's
what
not.
if we
Let's do the one where we don't get blackmailed and
wait?
go to jail.
So, I mean, what if we head him off at the pass by going after Jared Falcone?
back at the
Like
ranch.
Belinky doesn't need to be rescued. Jared Falcone is running some kind of like friggin' questionable pornographer's ranch or some kind of bullshit with like just one Mexican assistant as his like team. I don't like any of it, and he's trying to set us up. So
Well, so there is one more wrinkle, if you'll remember, and I'll leave this up to you guys. But Jared Falcone also said he would pay you guys extra if you found out who was trying to extort money from him.
Is somebody trying to extort money? That's what's so confusing. I
Well-
thought that was the question last time, because like
So, like, there might be, but I don't see how we're going to,
unravel that.
and I don't see how we're going to unravel that by going after Belinky.
Right. Agreed.
Well, couldn't we get hold of the people regarding him and ask them who hired them?
We already did. I mean,
Right.
I don't think they told us who hired them, but, like, the people
They
who were
did
guarding
actually.
They did? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it was Ares. They
Yeah,
were hired
Ares.
by his employee to, like, test his loyalty, his employer to test his loyalty. So, can't imagine that Ares, like,
So the
that's
point
the
is that
ransom.
is the thing we're supposed to understand here that, and I'm asking not the GM, but you guys, that like somebody else knew that he'd been kidnapped and tried to use that as an opportunity to extort money from Falcone.
That seems to be what's going on.
I mean, we know he's been kidnapped. Why don't we extort money from Falcone?
Well, I'm kind of suggesting that we do that a little bit more directly by just killing Falcone and taking all his money,
Okay, fine, but like,
which is like a
guess
form
the-
of extortion.
I guess the point is that there's a question as to whether or not Falcone actually knows that Ares are the ones who had him kidnapped, right? Does he actually think he's been kidnapped, but he's framing us, or does he have complete knowledge of the fact that he wasn't really kidnapped and he's framing us anyway? Because, like, I don't know,
Well,
he hates.
Both are reasonable, right? Like, I don't know what Falcone would have to gain from black or
I don't think that
That's
we
why I don't think that's
framing us.
reasonable.
I don't think that we should assume that like there's something personal he has against us that is
Right.
why he's setting us particularly up, because like that could be true, but this is kind of metagaming, but it'd be like a shitty a shitty story because it's like you have no way of knowing this, but one of your
Sure.
characters like had a previous run-in with Falcone,
his wife.
right? Like
So
that's fine, but just like not good, right? So I think we should not assume that that's what's going on.
that's totally fine. But so then he legitimately thinks that B-Dog has been kidnapped and isn't aware
Yeah,
that, like,
I
the
think
people...
all he knows is that like the dude got kidnapped, and then he got a like ransom demand, an extortion ransom demand, and then hired people to like get the guy back before the ransom demand problem kicked in, and was ready to have collateral about it if it didn't work out.
When the collateral being that he frames us?
Yeah.
How is
I just
that
don't really
collateral
understand
for
what
that
he
not
gets out of
working
framing us, right? Like,
Yeah, that's
if
what I'm
if
saying.
his whole gig was that they didn't want anybody to know originally, as I understand it, that that somebody had gotten kidnapped off their ranch, because I guess it's, I don't know, bad publicity. But if his like game is to then frame us, then like, I don't know, how does that help though?
I agree. That's kind of my question. So if he doesn't have some secret bad story writing grudge against one of us or all of us,
Mm-hmm.
then like where does that fit? Everything else makes
Well,
sense.
unless there's some ulterior motive, right? I don't know. Maybe he like hired the people to kidnap him, and because he's got a.
Well, that's what I said last week, but then it sounded like not, because it sounds like the mystery is still who's extorting money from him. So if like, and we know who hired them to kidnap B-Dog.
And
So
like
unless it turns out that he has like a controlling interest in the Ares company, then like I don't see how that tracks.
so I guess there are two people who are particularly suspect in the information that they've given us, which is Void and Falcone, right?
Oh,
because
sorry, who's Void?
the like
guy we met
online guy that you met with who had a
Oh,
cape and
right,
you
right,
made fun of him like extensively.
Yeah,
Because their stories don't like really add up, right? The story that we're getting from the Sioux Shadowrunners makes sense. That like is fine.
and they're
the
the only
story
ones who seem pretty on the level.
What?
They're the only ones who kind of seem on the level so far.
Yeah, I mean, what they're saying makes sense, right? Like, we know that this dude was rising too quickly through the ranks. We would assume that Ares would have a reaction. The reaction they have here makes sense as, like, a reaction to that in this particular universe. And so, like, all of that tracks. What doesn't track is, like, what we're getting from Void and Falcone. One of the two of them isn't on the level. Or both.
Someone's lying to us.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you guys want to do?
Well, so what does Void get out of lying to us, right? Like, say we
We don't
believe
know what
him.
anybody gets out of lying to us.
But like,
Well,
say we believe him, right?
Mhm.
That sorry, let me get my notes here.
Right. So the question is, what does anybody get out of lying to you?
I mean, Void has a pretty clear potential benefit if Void is the one who is blackmailing
Story
or
on Falcone.
ransoming from Falcone, right? Because then he prevents us from rescuing the guy in time.
I
So
think
the thing
Void
is,
is from
like-
Ares, maybe.
I don't think so, because I don't know that Ares has like a reason to.
Doesn't seem like Ares has any vested interest in like anything bad happening to B-Dog. They just had this thing that they wanted done, and that's like, right? There's like a thread that's missing that ties some things together. But to be honest, and to try and get back to what Kevin's asking us, like, I don't see how talking to B-Dog himself is going to help us pull out that thread. Like, I just don't feel like he's going to have answers for us.
Well, we also know that his kidnapping was like faked a little bit, right? Or there's something wrong with it, right? So that's something to keep in mind. That like,
You mean because of the video?
no,
No, the
because
way the
there's
room
a
was
bunch of things that didn't make sense.
Oh, okay. I don't know these.
But I
details.
think I think that falls in line with the fact that like this wasn't really their style and it wasn't like really a kidnapping, right? Like they're just kind of supposed to take him away and like rough him up for a couple of days so that they can test his loyalty. So they made it look like a kidnapping, but they just made it look like a kidnapping and they don't really know what they're doing.
So in this
So
case,
is it? I don't know. I guess they're trying to see whether he'll like I don't know spill the beans on his research or something like that.
Maybe that's another like possible angle.
But like, then why involve the ranch and all that stuff, right? Like, why even bother ransoming him? He's gonna let him go anyways.
I would say, because I don't have an answer to those questions, I would say my vote is to go to Ares, because I feel like Ares is going to have more answers than B-Dog, and I feel like Ares is going to have more money than B-Dog. And that's where King's looking.
I don't know. I think I'd like to get like Blinky's, I don't know, version of all of this, but on the other hand, I'm a little hesitant that like we're just playing into the whole plan by going and getting him. If there's like somebody out there trying to like set us up as kidnappers to like save face, or I don't know, just get the heat off of them, and if we end up with him, they say like we kidnapped him, and I don't know, that looks bad too.
Yeah, if we end up with him, that does look like particularly bad, potentially. But I don't know.
All right.
What about?
I feel like
So we all have like we're all kind of sort of like connected, right, to the internet. Is there any way for me to like, if we know that the Belinky is in there in that warehouse, can I like call him?
Oh well, you guys have his phone.
He doesn't
why
have
don't we,
like some
toss it through
insert
the
thing.
window and then call it.
He doesn't have some insert or something like that.
Not everybody has like an AR like cybernetic overlay in their eyes or anything. Some people just have like devices. That's not unusual.
Neanderthals.
East Kim.
Am I right, Corinth?
I mean, yeah, but still, don't be mean about it.
Is there a casino on this reservation that we can just gamble at for the next?
But we didn't have any money.
What's like the nearest city that's not Denver? And can we go there?
Sure.
All right.
I don't know off the top of my head.
I'm putting in one vote for going to the like nearest city that's not Denver, and
Just
Like running.
yeah. We just filled up the tank. We got a full tank of gas. I'm pretty sure one of us has a pack of cigarettes. I got sunglasses. We're like all set for this.
It's an option. I wouldn't say it's a great
Why don't
option.
we
To burn your bridges like
Let's
that.
just go back to Falcone and confront him. Fuck it.
I mean,
I mean,
feel like
if we know he's not going to get
probably
hurt,
just,
we'll just tell Falcone, hey, look, like they're going to let him go. Like there's no reason to get like a hissy fit about it. Like,
But I think he knows that.
Well, that'd be great. If he knows that, then we'll fucking apply the screws.
yeah,
And
then
I mean
we
that
see how he
literally.
reacts to that, and if he's like, no, it's not going to work, then like something's up, right? Because if all he cares about is that Belinky kind of gets right, they weren't going to like actually cut him up and send him to all kinds of places. So the whole thing that Falcone is worried about isn't going to happen.
Well, what
if he is
Falcone
actually worried about it or not.
Although, I mean, what Falcone is worried about is like that other ransom thing, and without being able to tell him that like some other dude is going to release information about this like heist to the press or something, then he's probably not going to be particularly, I don't know, charitable about it. So what we need to do is figure out who sent the like ransom demand and go like kill that person because they're the only ones who are particularly in the way, and we get our
Yeah, how
bonus
do you
from
figure that
Falcone.
Do we have the ransom thing? Could I do some kind of reverse like tracking?
Yeah. So let's see what you have. You have an audio file, which was left. Was sent as an attachment to Falcone.
Sent is good. Like, where's the email that it was sent as an attachment to?
Sure. I mean, you did get access to Falcone's servers earlier. If you want, we can do some rolls to see if you left a little backdoor in there or something.
See if I can track the email back through all 7 proxies.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Do we have
If
one
you
of
can
those graphics of like red lines going from like city to city across the world, and then
Exactly.
That's what we
Hey,
gotta
you
roll to see how good that graphic is.
yeah, let's do it.
Like
13-headed Hydra involved.
All right. So I guess you're gonna sling code here.
I think I might have to.
Okay. So this is going to be a sling code to see if you can get back into the back door you left in Falcone's server.
While you're slinging that code, can't we just go to Ares and be like, we hear you like hiring groups of people to kidnap people for you? Like,
That's our
the
deal
suit
now.
guys are busy. Well, yeah, why don't you hire us?
What?
I get a 10 by the way for sling code, but before we like just become criminals, professional
Wait,
kidnappers.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I'm pretty sure we're already criminals, but
Right. So
I'm only an
Are we the
ex-criminal.
baddies? So your back door is still intact into the server. You pass right in, and you have full control over Falcone's file system there.
Alright, I change every file to a poop emoji.
Just like
Finally.
thing one,
Alright,
or
so
like
I
some
yeah,
animated version?
I dig up the ransom message, and I'll see whether I can like backtrack where it came from. Sure, this guy like thought he was good, but he's not as good as me.
That's true. All right, so this guy's pretty clever, but he's got a lot of. Let's see how sharp you are. See if you can catch the one mistake that he happened to make.
Better believe it.
use some karma on that. Is that how that works? Is that how karma works? I don't know this system.
Maybe. I don't remember. I don't think so.
None of us know.
Turns out nobody knows.
Well, no, I think the problem is that nobody has any karma.
I get an 11.
Yeah,
This
that
guy's
is a
not
problem.
even close to my level.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So, you track this. You track this email back to.
You had
to
an
a
8th
solid-
proxy, but I was like, no. Come on now.
That's not how that works.
You track it back to a solid dead end, which ends straight in the. Hold on. Hold.
Internet.
He was on the internet the whole time.
You
Got his AIM
trace it-
screen
you-
name.
You trace it straight back to a solid dead end, which ends directly in room 3141 of the Hub's Avatar Assassin Guild.
We were just there.
Oh, I fucking told you guys.
Goddamn void.
Told you that motherfucker was shifty. Let's
I
go.
mean, we
take
knew
his
he was shifty.
bullshit cape off.
Yeah, can I like check whether void's like around?
Just like who is Void and see.
Is there any like when I track him
Void
back
is
there? Can I find any more information on him?
Sure. So you're gonna do like a. So
I think there's like a research move or something like that, right?
there is a research move. There's a.
Yeah, like I'll see if I can find out who like usually either who hangs out there or who hired that room, or I don't know how this like guild is supposed to.
Yes. It's still driving.
No, I thought we stopped.
We're like parked at a gas
Okay,
station.
Now we're just like a surveillance van.
There's like they
do
like
a-
gas attendant orc is like, are you guys gonna leave?
Nah, we live here now.
This is our parking spot.
Are you gonna leave?
There's like 3 people in this town, and just van sitting at their gas station, like nothing.
You guys see that van the other day?
There's only
Sure stayed there for a long time.
there's only one pump. The other 2 cars in the town is like, come on.
Get out of the way, you assholes. Okay, so yeah, do a citation needed roll. This is a plus skilled.
All my favorite rolls. Oh, I failed.
Ooh. All right.
What was this a search for?
We're trying to find like Void's like identity, I guess. This guy is good. Better than I thought. There's a
He
knife.
covered his tracks pretty well. Yeah, maybe I should have made you roll for this. I wanted you to succeed.
Wow.
Unfortunate for me.
Rough.
Unfortunate
There is
for
the
me.
GM move rewind. It's on page 17.
Nope.
Okay.
So, all right, give me
here's what
a little tidbit. Give me a little tidbit.
No, I'm gonna have you succeed, but at cost. So you start digging into the Guild Assassin Hall's records, and you can find that the name Void in the alias is kind of just like a throwaway name. That the real name that you're looking for is the person who owns the Void avatar is someone named Hammerjack. And
Really?
unfortunately,
Is that somebody I know?
you trip like a decoy program, and you're pretty sure that this has sent an alert to Hammerjack that you're on his trail.
All right.
Goddamn Hammerjack.
Is Hammerjack somebody I might have heard of? You know, is he in the hacker community?
But so actually, because you failed, I'm gonna take it a step further. As you trip this decoy program, you trigger a mine of feedback. It's gonna race back through your system. So why don't you give me a gut check?
So you were about to remember exactly who he was, and then your brain got fried inside your skull. So
Tusk just goes like limp at the wheel.
Actually, sorry, gut check is not appropriate. It would be a stay frosty, which is plus steady. Which might also be what gut check is.
It's good because I'm born digital. When I stay frosty, I add my desk mask rating to the roll.
It's fucking this guy just ignores all the black dice.
Come on.
Let me just find out what that
Can we say
is.
that now? You say black dice?
2.
Only you.
Only you
Dice
can.
still negro.
I didn't even need it.
Oh Jesus! All right, you are frosty. So you guys are sitting there. You see Tusk's sitting there in the driver's seat. Sipping from this gigantic tub of like neon frosty that he got in the shop there. And
Is it because he's staying frosty? Is that what you said, frosty?
and you see some of his. He's got some like his deck. You see like sparks start to shoot out of it, and like electricity like arc from it, and he just kind of like calmly like pushes it away, and you can see like the ozone like rising from his skin, but he doesn't seem too phased. Seems all right.
All right, good.
Looks
King
like we're
likes
dealing with a
scoffs
little
'cause
jokester.
Technology.
Well, I hate jokes, so why don't we figure out where this guy is and introduce him to some pain and meat space.
All right.
I second that. Meat space pain.
I'm
All right. Yeah. So, well, I like tell everybody like. Turns out Void is just another name used by a guy named Hammerjack. This is the guy that's been screwing with us.
Boyd is Hammerjack?
He should have gone with Void as like his main name. 'Cause Hammerjack is way worse.
Oh, Hammerjack's super bad.
All right. Okay. So what do you guys want to do?
I mean, we want to
Fine.
make fun of him for how stupid his name is, so let's go see him.
Yeah, find, torture, and kill Hammerjack, but not before we make fun of how bad his handle is.
Yeah, he's got a pretty small handle.
Yeah.
So yeah, do I? Is there a way for us to find out where Hammerjack like hangs out for reals?
Um,
Go give him.
Look
It's-
at the phone book.
possible, but remember he might be covering his tracks now that he's onto you.
Well, I mean, if he doesn't like literally flee from the country, then like let's start going door to door in Denver.
All right, yeah. Why don't I'll tell Anathema. Why don't you drive and I'll see if I can track this guy. And I get in the back and like get my like
So
thing like fully set up.
Mhm.
Like a
So
little
I
montage.
think tracking him digitally is going to be pretty close to impossible at this point.
All right. Well, I also have like a variety of spirits who can track people down.
There you
okay.
go. Like a street eagle.
Mr. Eagle,
Go, Mr.
go!
We've reached the limits of technology. It's time to turn to spirit animals.
All right.
Totally agree. It is definitely time to turn to spirit animals.
Okay. Let's go figure out how to turn to the spirit animal in this case. Oh, spirit, we want the Urban Watcher. I think is going to be a good choice for this one. Am I still taking -2, or did that get cured by the first aid
I think that got cured by the first aid.
stitch? All right.
Shit.
Watcher +1. What the fuck is summon a watcher? Sharp +2. No good. Nothing. He doesn't even show up.
Okay,
There's no one there.
guys, behold my spirits.
We're not in a city. It's not gonna work. We got to get back to the city before the urban spirit's gonna show up. Should have thought
Okay.
about that before, summoning him out here in the middle of nowhere.
All right,
Fair enough.
drive back
So, I
towards
mean-
Denver.
You guys are going back to the city. Okay. Yeah, I imagine. I mean, we can just. I guess you can roll again. I don't know.
Anyone want to like look in the phone book or something? There's got to be some.
That's what I
someone-
said. The phone book. Can't we just like look him up? Jack Conner Hammer.
Jack got my hammer. So there's no one by that name in the phone book.
Okay, one of us must have a contact who would know how to find somebody in the underworld.
There you
but,
go. Someone's got to have some contacts, right? Like, what are people's contacts? I got a street cop and a hedge wizard. I don't know
Hey,
if
Emma.
that's going to be any help.
I've got a defense attorney, a former partner, and a confidential informant who I imagine is like in the seedy belly of the underworld.
Okay, I think that. What do you got? Well,
I have an
I think
electronics dealer and a
confidential
former
informant
professor.
could work. You got anything, Alex?
I have just another retired runner
Uh-huh.
and Smitty.
Schmitty!
Okay.
I think the CI could work. The retired runner might work too, right? I mean, that guy's probably.
So you guys take your pick of retired runner or CI, and then I will ask Kim and Aaron for a detail about this particular contact, and we'll go from there.
All right, what do you guys think? Who should we go for?
Let's do the CI. Let's do the CI.
All right. Decided.
All right, so
Take it away, Duplo.
Aaron and Kim, one detail each, please, about the CI.
You want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So this guy is kind of like a jack of all trades crook. Like he's not like a big name player, but he's like generally a fixer. So he's got like drugs if you need to score some drugs. If you need like a really low level hack job, he can do that. Like you don't want to hire him for something big time, but if like you got a honey in the chat room and you want to like find out where she lives or something, like he can hook you up with that kind of thing. Just kind of like a general sleaze bag, but because he moves around in so many different circles of crime, he tends to know like a little bit about everyone in all these places. Does like a lot of jobs. Never rose so high on the radar that the police made it a priority to lock him up. He was more useful for the information he could provide.
All right, that's at least several details. That's good.
All right, I'll keep it brief. I will say that the last time that MLK Junior Boulevard used this CI, he kind of hung him out to dry.
Okay,
wait, who hung who out to dry?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would
Each of us thinks the other one screwed him over.
I meant to say that King hung the CI out to dry.
Okay, yeah.
Alex, can
Sure.
you remind me what my CI's name is?
Isidore.
All right.
Smith.
Nice.
Thank you. Call him Izzy for short.
Word. All right. So, GM, how you want to roll
Okay.
the
Yeah.
ring?
1 second. Sorry, 1 second. I'm just reading something.
No, that's cool. I'm gonna call up Izzy when we have a
Okay.
chance, or go see him even.
All right, so you're so you head back into Denver, head down to one of the seedier areas there in the Mile High City. Yeah. Okay, great. And you roll up to the the shitty ass apartment building where you know this guy hangs out.
Nice. Yeah.
As you
all right.
as you like I don't know, is it just you getting out of the car or?
Well, I'm gonna turn to these guys. I'm gonna be like, listen, I'm gonna go see my my contact Izzy in here. Things might be a little bit hairy. I imagine maybe somebody should come watch my back, but I don't want to get this guy jumpy by having a whole cavalry of us pour out of this van and go inside. So,
Well, why don't you take Corey? He looks pretty, innocuous, and then also he can murder everyone if there's a problem.
sounds like a great idea. Corey, you up for it?
Yeah, all right, I'll go. We can go talk to some guy.
Nice. All right. So Corey and I get out of the van. We look around all suspiciously, and then
So as you
I
get
don't know.
out of the van, you see this is like definitely a shitty area of town. There's a couple people like hanging outside the front of this like tenement building. There's also a couple people like sitting like against the steps, like seem like they're kind of like passed out. You can see a couple of them are like obviously chip heads, right? They've got really low quality like neural interfaces with these like big chips slotted into them, and they're just kind of like laying there like they're like all skin and bones. Their like eyes are sunken.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I turn to Corey and I say, "Wow, this place has improved since the last time I was here."
Oh, I don't know. Looks pretty shitty, King.
Both of
I
those
say-
things
I-
can
I
be
say-
true.
Yeah, that's true. I say keep your voice down, kid. And I kind of like step to the front of the building to try and get by these guys and just go in.
Okay, cool. All right, so as you come in, so King, you kind of know you got to move quickly through these kind of areas, or you get the you attract a little more attention than you might have bargained for. But as you step in through the foyer, Corey, you notice a big guy, or what you think was probably once a big guy, because he's kind of like he's got the skin kind of like hanging off him. He's like seems to be like injecting some kind of drug like straight into his arm. He's like, and he like turns to you and he takes a step over, like needle like hanging out. It's like, hey kid, you want some candy?
I was like,
Okay.
oh. He's like, no, I don't want anything from you. And he like tries to like hide behind King.
Nice.
Okay, sure. King, what are you doing?
I smile at the guy, which is like a horrific thing that people don't usually like to look
Screams.
at.
Runs away.
Corey
People are like,
Corey backs up and tries to hide behind the guy.
"Oh, you're behind me. You can't see the smile. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Whew.
It doesn't radiate that far behind me. It's the awfulness."
Yeah. Okay. So you're gonna try to like manipulate him.
I mean, I guess, yeah. I mean, in the
You're
sense
gonna
of
try to
like,
disarm the situation with your.
disarm. Yeah, exactly. That's the way to put it. Right? I'm just kind of like exactly disarming. I'm just
Okay. Yeah.
like,
Roll plus smooth.
oh, that's the thing I'm not that good at, which is totally fine because that's cool with me.
It seems like an odd thing to be like rolling smooth for. That he's like giving the most horrifying smile. That
Maybe it's ingratiating and.
Don't worry about it. I've got a new move that I need to roll smooth for too, and I wanna practice.
get all your bad rolls out now.
Well,
my
you
God.
certainly did not do a good job practicing.
I don't know how I also hit that one. I gotta say-
12 d6.
Only -1.
That's so extreme.
All right. You get a 6. All right.
Too many dice.
So this guy's like, he's gonna be like, "Who the fuck are you? I'm talking to the kid." And he's gonna try to like throw you to the side and jab this needle into Corey's, whatever's closest. Arm preferable, but he's not picky.
Okay, that's fine.
Well,
So I
It's
mean,
mostly cybernetic. You could let him do it.
I
Nothing's
may
gonna
be
happen.
hideous and I may be a bit rumpled, but I do still remember like a couple of my academy moves, right? So when the guy tries to push me to the side,
Let's see if
I'm
you're
gonna like grab his arm and try and like twist it around behind him. And,
Okay,
and
you're
push
gonna
him to the
rock and
side.
roll here.
I'm gonna rock and roll. Yeah,
All right,
sure.
let's see your rock.
Time to rock and roll.
It's just hard, right?
It is hard.
It's 7.
7.
I mean,
Okay,
it's a big
so
deal. Big deal.
so you get
stab Corey instead.
What?
so your I guess your opponent attacks you as well. So
Okay.
yeah, so
that's-
so you
that's fair.
grab him and you like twist his arm, but he like swings his other hand out, which like is like surprisingly still well muscled, and he like hits you in the gut. Yeah, you're gonna stay frosty here. You can.
Okay. So I just roll a sorry,
Plus,
I can guess
steady.
Steady. Yeah.
plus steady. Okay. Cool. An 8.
Okay.
So I'm not the frostiest I've ever been, but
Okay.
I've been in worse situations before.
So you can
Can I help?
you can kind of go with the punch.
Yeah.
But he's gonna like kind of like throw like push you into the wall. You're gonna be like, it's a pretty like 1, 2, 3 like seconds matter kind of situation. You're gonna be pushed away for a few seconds.
Okay. Sure.
Or you can just grit and take it and not go anywhere, but it's gonna hurt you.
No, I mean this is fine. I can I think that's what King would do anyway. He'd like roll with it and kind of
Okay. All right, so you're fine, but he pushes you like through the inner doors like into
Sure.
the stairwell. You kind of like tumble down, and he holds his arm for a second and turns toward Corinth, and he says, "The boy should accept when I'm trying to give him a present." And he pulls the syringe back out of his like other hand and moves towards you.
Right,
Corey's
I
like-
head up the stairs to go see my.
Corey's like, all right, just like Smitty taught you, and he goes like this, and all of a sudden, like a concealable taser comes up from his arm, and he like just tries to shoot it towards the guy.
Wait, out of
yeah.
his arm, literally?
Roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, rock and roll.
I was just checking. I'm pretty sure if it's inside your arm, that automatically counts as concealable.
That's fine. Oh
Okay.
yeah, 10 plus.
You want to roll damage?
Yeah. Also, I get to do an extra 1d4
Okay.
because I mean, I don't know how you want to count that, but
No, it's fine. It's fine. Let's see the number.
all right. Let me just find on my weapon. 1d8 stun damage. All right. 1d8, and then it's plus. Oh, that's not a good roll. 1d4, and he has to save against. He's stunned, shocked, and slowed.
Okay. So this taser like actually comes out of your arm.
Yeah.
Okay. So like, was your hand like flipped back and there's like a taser behind there or something, or?
No, like Spider-Man style, right? Like.
Okay. All right. So like you like
Corey goes like like a thing
Yeah.
shoots
so
out.
it's like obviously cybernetic thing comes out and like like fires a bolt of like electricity or like a shock of electricity into him, and he's like, "Ugh!" And like he's like you can smell the ozone in the air, and he's like, kid's a goddamn robot, and he like kind of like
Yeah.
like teeters to the side and like crumples to the ground.
Corey's like,
Yeah.
oh shit! Did you see that? And he's like looking around, and there's like nobody. He's like, oh my god!
Yeah, you can hear King's like footsteps up on like the first landing.
Oh my
Good job.
god, that was so cool. And
You
he
do
let-
see there's like a broken ass security camera in the vestibule.
Oh, maybe I can. talk
It's
to Tusk.
it's ironic.
Yeah.
Or something.
Good.
So yeah, Corey
Can you
just
hit
kinda-
rewind again? That GM move? Just take back the joke.
he ends up releasing the like stun charge and like reeling it in or whatever it is that that you do with a.
But you have to
Taser.
like manually do it.
Yeah, I'm like steady there, like cranking it,
All right.
and then I
Okay.
follow King.
Okay, King. So you reach the third floor
Sure.
third floor flat that is this guy, what's this guy's name?
Izzy, I call him.
Izzy.
Yeah.
Okay. And what are you doing?
I'm gonna like push the door open. I mean, it's like barely a door, right? It's not like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
kind of thing you want to
absolutely.
knock on. It's not that kind of thing I need to like kick down in a huge show of force. I'm just gonna like push open this like ragtag piece of wood that's kind of hanging on half a hinge, and take a look inside.
All right. So you walk in, you see like this apartment's like a piece of trash. You can see that there's like dishes piled up in the sink that look like they have been there for at least a year. There's like an old refrigerator that is like the door's fallen off, but it's like still kept in place because where else are you going to keep your refrigerator door? You start to walk towards the bathroom. You hear somebody coming out, and he says, Speedball, I told you, like, I don't have anything left. You're gonna have to come back tomorrow. And he like you can see your friend he sees you, and he's at one end of the hallway to the bedroom, and you're at the other end. He sees you, and he just turns to like split.
Yeah. So like, as soon as I see him,
Yeah.
I notice that he's splitting. I make a sudden move, and he hears, distinctly because he remembers it, the sound
Yeah.
of my Ruger Super Warhawk cocking as I.
All right. So you're
Cock.
making him sweat.
I mean,
You're making him
if,
sweat.
if
Let's
you
see
feel like
him
that's
sweat.
what's going on here, is that also a hard? I don't have
That
the math off the
is
top of my head,
a
sorry.
hard yes.
That's no good at all. Actually, wait, hold on. Do I?
Let me know when I can enter the scene, Kev, because I know I was lagging behind him.
So I feel like I have a thing there. Okay, I'm sorry, because I actually have a move that should change what I rolled. So
Oh, okay. Then re-roll it.
should be.
This is one of those times when you wanted him to succeed, but he didn't.
Well, I don't know why you would say that, Alex.
But also, it's a totally different skill. So I got the same result. It's my better roll.
Justice has been served.
Yes.
Okay.
Dude, God, just
Thank
did
God, I
God
don't
willed
think
it.
I've rolled anything in all 3 sessions I've been in that's like succeeded.
Yeah, no, you
you got plenty of karma though. So
That's what you give
I don't
me,
think I have any
racist.
karma.
I thought you got karma for like failing rolls.
Every time you
No,
fail.
XP.
Oh, XP. Yeah, he's right.
The first level of karma I think it says you get is after you've advanced 3 times.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but you've gotten a lot of XP for failing rolls, so you probly advanced
Are
at
you
least
sure
3
you're
times.
not?
No,
Yeah.
you need to fail like 10 rolls to get an
I
advanced.
feel like if we're rolling
It's
Snake Eyes,
hard.
you should get 2 XP.
You're like level
this
8.
This is at least my second Snake
Just
Eyes. But
straight up get an
anyway,
advancement right there.
yeah. So I cock my gun
the guy-
at him and probably drop it again.
No, you
Shoot him
cock
right in
your
the
gun
head.
just fine. But he's already going. He hears the sound. It just makes him run faster. He runs back into the bedroom. What are you doing?
Do,
And
do I hear,
and
do I
you
hear
can be in
Corey
the
behind me?
department here. What's that?
Do I hear Corey behind me? Yeah, I'm like Corey. We got to get that guy. And I like dive towards the bedroom door.
Okay. So you you get to the bedroom door and you can see him like knees out of the window onto the like fire escape.
And we've come full circle.
Yeah. All right, Corey, what are you doing?
All right, so at this point, Corey draws his katana and like races.
Shit's about to get fucked.
So
Can't
Sizzle,
run if
do
you
you
cut
have-
off his
do you have like
legs.
wired reflexes or any of those cybernetics?
Do I have what?
Wired reflexes.
I do not. No.
Okay.
Is that something that I need to?
Wired
Well,
reflexes makes you like really fast.
No,
Or
no,
do you
no.
have
I don't.
Any
No, I'm not.
leg
I'm
cybernetics?
super concerned about the katana version of getting kneecapped for this guy with his knees hanging out the window. I'm like, I feel
All
bad.
you need is him above the knees, right? Like.
Technically, yeah.
Them is not relevant.
So here's the thing. Semi out of character. I'm not trying to not move the story along, but I don't feel like my 4 has really afforded me any like advantage over this guy. So I feel like if anybody's gonna get the drop on him now, it's
Sure.
Corey.
Okay, yeah. So Corey like slips past you like a panther.
Yeah.
Corey, you can see him like going up the fire escape.
He's going up.
What are you doing?
Oh, this stupid like.
So I'm gonna try to slice the fire escape so that he does like. Cause if he's already above me, I'm just gonna slice straight at the metal and try to cut it so that he stumbles or falls, or if his foot happens
falls
to get in the
3
way.
stories to
Then...
the ground.
No, I'll catch him. Don't worry.
You're at 15. All right.
Maybe 17.
Not right now. It's fine.
Yes, that's fine. You got a what? This would be a rock and roll. This would be plus hard.
Rock and roll it then, sir. It. I have faith in you. Unlike
Two.
myself.
You have 7. I did it.
Squeaks by.
No problem.
All right.
What's the problem, Kevin?
So I will say that you can do it, but you're gonna fuck up your katana, or
No, the other
or you're
one.
too slow,
Too slow.
Or what?
or you're too slow.
Too slow. 100%. Who needs this guy?
All right. So he races up the fire escape, and you like slash at it. You like metal like pieces like fall off. Yeah.
So now we can't go up after him.
We can, just not like normal people. Not like
I
using
mean,
the fire escape.
you were never gonna do this like normal people. Let's just be
Exactly.
clear
That's
about that.
a valid point, sir.
I mean, now that he's gotten away, I'm just gonna try to like climb the fire escape like more like a ladder and less than less
I mean,
like
the ladder in the fire escape.
well, it's now in pieces, Nick. Okay.
All right.
So
I
I'm
don't have a very good visual concept of what a fire escape that's been hacked with a sword and is now in pieces would look like.
Agreed.
I mean, he hacked like the stairs, and they like fell over. They are not attached.
I'll use like whatever metal
stair part.
pieces there are to
Literally
just
cut
climb
through.
All right,
out.
fine. Scamper up after him, 17-year-old.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and follow you. I'm gonna like watch what you do and try and replicate.
You're going up the same way.
I mean, is there another? I know the building. Is there like another?
Yeah, you
internal
go to the top of the
stairwell?
stairwell and get a.
Okay,
Try to
I'm gonna do that.
Too bad you guys don't have a world championship parkour,
Parkour. I know.
monster with
That
you.
is true.
Parkour
Fucking
right up
sad.
the building.
Guys made a
Wait,
bad
what is
decision.
that? Who's the parkour champion? I don't remember.
Fucking Kim.
Tusks.
Oh, so why
He's
don't
like
you
the
come up here?
4-time parkour champion, secret millionaire.
Listen, we're on communications all the time. This guy's already spooked, so I don't care now about having all of us like in his face. You could parkour up here in 3
Don't
seconds.
worry,
if
we'll
you want.
stay in the van in case he tries to actually like escape as opposed to running up
Yeah.
the building.
Yeah.
All right.
We got this.
Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna run up the
Seems-
stairs to make
it
sure
seems
he's
like he's
not
got to
coming
get
back
himself
down.
into a little bit of a corner here.
Well, this is the old like. There's a murder in the house. Let me run upstairs so that I can't get out. This is
All
great.
All
right,
right,
the
Kick.
murder
So,
in
so
this
Corinth, you
metaphor?
begin like sprinting up the stairs after him. You're about a flight behind, but you're going up. He's going up. King, you run out to the stairwell
Uh-huh.
and begin running up the stairs. You see at the top of the stairs there is there's like an old rusty door that leads to the roof.
Oh, nice. All right, I'm gonna like sprint up and like lead all the way up the stairs with my shoulder and just like charge.
All right, yeah, roll plus hard.
You bastard. Hey, I semi-succeeded on something.
All right, so you're getting too old for this shit, and you're gonna have a sore arm, but and then that may affect some of your rolls later on. But you barrel through the door, out onto the roof. Just as you see you can see the fire escape kind of like bouncing up and down a little bit under the weight of these two guys running up it, and you step over to it, and you can see him coming up the last flight towards you. What are you doing? What does it look like? What is King's move here?
Wait, sorry. So he's coming up the.
Yeah, and you're at the top of the stairs.
Okay. But he's like climbing over the edge of the roof. Is that what it is?
So he's coming up the fire escape to the top of the roof.
Right.
And you're there.
And I'm looking down at him. Yeah, okay. He's gonna come over the thing. I look at him and I shout, Izzy, you magnificent, disgusting drug scum piece of shit.
There's so many mixed messages there.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to
really good at doing drugs.
Trying to like complicate him.
All right. Yeah, so I think I've enjoyed this scene, but I do not want to belabor it too much longer. So
Sure.
You guys want to ask him what? He
I don't even remember at this point. And now I just want to have like a drink.
We need to ask him if he knows Hammerjack.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jack
I asked him who Hammerjack is.
Okay, yeah. So so he lets you know that Hammerjack is an old timer. He's been around since the Matrix 1.0, and he
should not have stuck around for the sequels. The Matrix 1.0 was the only good Matrix.
He's been around a long time, and he's been a part of some good deals and some bad deals. But recently he's surfaced in Denver, and he can give you his location.
Great.
Okay, now I will also not belabor the scene. However,
let me just belabor the scene.
I would be remiss.
If you could have just indulged me for a moment.
I would be remiss if I did not attempt to use my worst stat on my fancy new street dock move.
Okay.
Of which I picked the most interesting one I could find, called The Pharmacy is Open.
Oh God.
What I'm going to do is use my contact Izzy and the fact that he's like, in the drug world and needs clean needles and shit like that, to ask him to get me a little bit of medical supplies for my stabilized but still apparently literally bleeding on the floor of the van colleague.
It's gonna kill you.
Okay, sure, yeah. He
so
he takes you back down to the apartment. He gives you a bunch of painkillers.
Well, hold on, you gotta let me roll.
Shit!
No,
sorry.
apparently he doesn't.
See if it gets better.
wait for Nick to fail this roll real quick.
Yeah, exactly. Because if I can finally succeed one for real, I get cool stuff.
Okay.
Nope.
No, you can't.
He gives you all those things, but they're all empty.
A swing and a miss. A bunch of placebos. Oh,
he gives you
stash of sugar pills.
He gives you a bunch of black tar heroin.
I can't have any of
Maybe
this.
this will help him out.
I can't have any of this special stuff, huh?
I'm sorry, Nick. I feel
No,
bad.
it's fine. I took
But
the
like I
interesting
said,
one for fun.
We here at Live from Beyond are nothing if not sticklers for the rules.
That's fine. Well, whatever. So he gives me some gauze or something so I can give him
like payback for that last time when you fucked him. He just gives you a bunch of garbage.
It's just like one of those rolls of paper they have at the cash register that turns blue.
Listen, the roll is only so that he gives me more stuff, not so that he doesn't give me.
King comes down to the car and he's like, "Look at all the crazy shit I got." And we open it up, it's all Tic Tacs.
He gives you some bandages and shit, and some
small package of Thin Mints.
I bring it all to Anathema. Anathema points out that Thin Mints are only the good Girl Scout cookies, so he's happy with me.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's
fair enough. Okay. So,
So can we track down where
Yeah,
he said that?
we go to the
Warhammer
location provided.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys roll up to a bar, sort of downtown, in sort of a nicer area.
That's
Called
not going to
the,
last.
called the Transistor. Um,
The
you
area
can
is called the
see-
Transistor?
no, the bar is called the Transistor.
Oh, okay.
It's got like neon lights, and you can see Tusk's. It's got like this really cool AR display. It's all like troned out, and like there's like all kinds of like fucking neon birds flying around and shit.
Are you the red
Um,
guy or the blue guy?
Doesn't matter. It's all the same. But you do also see that there is a troll bouncer standing outside who has a not immodest weapon at his side.
And what about his sidearm? I make some kind of like slightly under the breath snarky comment about trolls to Corinth, and then we approach and
Okay.
hail the guy.
Because
Yeah,
you're racist?
Yes, because I'm racist. I don't feel like
Good that we spelled that out. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, we all
Good job.
go into the bar. Sure,
Okay.
King says something underhanded to the bouncer and gets his shit kicked in. Let's just.
I mean,
go.
so like we go in and everything's crazy. Is this the kind of thing where Tusks is easily going to be able to be like, listen, that guy with that AR shit over there, like that's got to be him, right? Like that's
Sure. Yeah. So obviously this bar is like a hacker bar. Tusks, you can try to jump on the local node and see if you can figure out who Hammerjack is.
Yeah.
In meat space.
All right. Yeah, I say let me see if I can flush this guy out. Get ready, and I'll hop onto the node and see if I can't identify Hammerjack.
Okay. So what method are you going to use to try to identify him here? Was there like how are you going about this? What's your
Like
what's your
that
angle?
guy.
I guess. Well, I don't know. So, is the point of this bar that everybody is hooked into some kind of like virtual reality, or?
Basically, yeah.
And I guess when I like hop on, I don't like see a Hammerjack in there. This guy's supposed to be like all like hot shit and stuff. Do I
That's true.
do I like see a guy who seems like he's hot shit?
Yeah. In fact, he's he's fully available. He's not expecting anybody to come back on him because he's stupid, and he
Cool.
he thinks that Void is you guys are coming after Void.
Oh, we
So
are.
yes.
Sure.
So,
So,
yeah,
I'll
you
like
see in
jack
the
into the
corner-
node. I'll walk up to this guy and I say, so you ready to talk?
So a surprisingly normal guy looks up at you and he says, I'm sorry. Can I help you?"
Say, you got about 2 minutes to explain this whole thing with Belinky. Or my friend here, and I like point at King, is gonna beat the shit out of you.
All right. Yeah. Why
I
don't
look
you make him sweat?
I look super menacing with that hideous face.
Sure.
Can I like assist him on his sweating?
Sure. Yeah. Go for it. I mean,
I
either of you can
remember-
roll. Either of you can roll.
What is make him sweat?
Hard.
Hard.
Hard. And what do I get for him helping? Just a +1.
So either one of you can roll for it.
Oh,
You-
is your
you
hard
roll
better?
it.
My hard is +1. What's your?
I think I get a +2 for making people sweat. That's my thing.
All right, why don't you roll?
Okay. I mean,
That's a mistake.
You've seen me roll, right?
You're due. You're due.
There you go. We'll look at it that way.
Oh, whoa!
Was
There we
due.
go.
About time, Nick.
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
You see
Tusk,
him
let's
like
go.
MLK is done with this shit.
yeah. No, he is. So he like so
Shoulders
Hammerjack like
hurting. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
pulls out like a connection to his deck, and King just steps up and like slaps him in the face, and it goes like flying across
Yeah.
the room. And the guy's like, "Oh my god, fine, it's all right. I'll tell you everything. I was I was trying to get back at Falcone. You screwed me over a couple years ago on a run I was on, but you guys are too quick for that. Listen, I'll hand over the tape he had me make, and I was just trying to get the ransom money. I swear."
Wait. Falcone had you make the tape, but you were trying to screw him over? How? What are you talking about? What fucking kind of name is Void anyway?
What kind of name is what?
Void anyway.
That's the
he
question.
kinda, like,
Not
holds
what
out
kind of name is
his
Hammerjack?
He says, "What kind of hacker would I be if I didn't, take care of the situation from both ends?"
Regardless, you were a
Because,
shitty one.
I mean,
I blackmailed him with one alias and offered my services at a video doctoring with another.
but why did he want you to frame us for this kidnapping in the first
Yeah.
place?
This
think it's-
Falcone,
Yeah.
he's just a dupe.
What?
He's not trying to free
Oh my god.
It's him. It's him. He's trying to play both ends of it.
But like, no. King is right here. Like, he made the video for Falcone, right?
Yeah, that's what he
That's
said.
what he said.
Sure.
So why would Falcone hire someone to make a
that video.
video of us committing the kidnapping if the only thing that Falcone cares about is it not get out that there was a kidnapping?
He says Falcone was planning to have the police waiting if you came back without Belinkai. He was going to frame you for the kidnapping, and then he could reap the positive press for catching the kidnappers.
All right.
So it's like an insurance policy.
All right.
I shoot him in the face.
That's reasonable. Falcone is next.
Just,
I mean,
Just break his like
break his kneecaps.
Yeah, whatever. I
was gonna say his
take
little
out-
like hacking system thing.
Yeah, exactly. I take out my Ruger Super Warhawk, this big honking fucking gun. I point it like right in his face, and just as I'm gonna like pull the trigger, I just like slip it to the side and blow his like motherboard to shit.
Okay, yeah. So you live like a big smoking hole in this like this motherboard, and you can see the lights kind of like flicker out, and he turns. He's like, "You don't know how much that thing cost."
Pistol whip him. Pistol whip him.
Now's the time, Nick.
No, listen. Tusks did say I would beat the shit out of him if he didn't answer our questions. The fact that the answers were stupid as fuck doesn't mean that I should beat the shit out of him.
An honorable
Okay.
man, if there ever was one.
So so you also just like fired your gun in this this downtown bar. So like everyone
leave.
involved is like under tables, and the bouncers are like moving towards you with ill intent.
Say, maybe we should leave.
Yeah, we like duck out the back door real quick.
Wait, can we take this fucker with us? This is the time to fucking kidnap some douchebag who's involved in this.
Who the hell's
his
gonna like
ransom?
pay
Like,
ransom
it's
for
just
this?
some
No one's
ass-
gonna pay ransom for him. We're not ransoming him. We're bringing.
Wait,
This
okay,
is
we're
good
not gonna
old-fashioned
ransom him.
murder.
We're gonna frame somebody else for his kidnapping.
No, we're gonna bring him to Falcone.
Wait, what does Ares have to do with this?
Ares doesn't have anything to do with this. Ares is just testing the loyalty of their employee,
Innocent bystanders.
And
just like every corporation.
and the what do you
Totally
call it?
innocent.
And the Native Americans,
Especially
Sue?
Subway.
They're just being like
Zaps.
portrayed in a horrible light by this game because they were just
Well, they're just
randomly hired to do
like
this.
kind of fucking
fucking thing.
incompetent.
Whatever. We grab this like nerd
Slimy motherfucker.
and like drag him out the back, throw him in the van, and drive out to the ring.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna need somebody to apply a little charm here to have the bouncers let you slip away.
or
I
rock
shoot
and
one of them
roll.
in the face.
Yeah. or some sharp and poignant violence.
Listen, can I?
Look, don't you have like a smoke bomb or something like that, anathema or something like that?
I was
Like,
gonna say, can I just like summon the air elemental again and like start
Yeah.
some mayhem here? While
good luck.
I mean, that I feel like
that's perfect. That's perfect. I
that's
throw
the
down a
move.
smoke bomb and try and do the like, haha, we disappear, but the air elemental blows it all away before we get out the door, and we look really stupid, but we get away.
Well,
But
so
then-
do you have smoke bombs, Alex? Is that something you got?
I don't.
Okay. I mean, I don't think you guys have. I don't know if somebody has a smoke grenade. Then
Like I don't have a smoke grenade.
A semi-automatic.
Like I can create a
submachine
small sentient tornado in this bar. Like
Alright, that's fine.
That's what I can do.
I'm super
Sure,
racist.
I think you could probably summon like a smoke spirit if you want to try to.
No. There's only one spirit that I'm trying to summon. When I speak of a small, not even small, let's just say a moderate-sized sentient tornado, like that's the air elemental. Same
Alright.
guy.
But because there's so much smoke in the bar from people smoking, the tornado creates like a smoke screen in front of us.
I mean, like I can also summon a sky teacher, but it's not going to have the effect that we want.
Stay a while and listen, my bouncers.
Right.
I will tell you the tale of my people. And they're like, oh.
Like
This
if
is
they
more
look like the
interesting than
kind
what I
of
was doing.
folks who would be persuaded by that, then I will go ahead and try to summon the sky teacher, and we'll have a powwow. But you
No,
said
it's fine. Okay. Okay, you can summon an air elemental to cover your retreat. That's fine.
All right, let's see whether I can. Theoretically, it's a possibility.
If nothing else, we'll just use Anathema's chanting to cover our retreat.
Yes.
While he
gonna
chants
super
and they're like
warlock
weirded
some
out by
motherfucker.
him, the rest of us escape through a back door.
I can
All right,
summon
sure.
air elemental.
So the bouncers spend their time trying to subdue this air elemental while you guys slip out the back and get on your way.
Like, I hate it when this happens.
I will tell the air elemental not to kill anyone this time.
Okay, fair enough.
Just
Very
rough 'em up a
very
little
very kind
It
of you.
doesn't listen.
Just
It's a request, not a command.
bit. It has only two modes.
No.
You did say it's
Non-existent
sentient. It's got a
and,
mind
like,
of its own.
No
killing
dice.
machine.
Murder face. It's the only two options.
All right. So you guys slip out with
Really,
with
it
Hammer
kills
Jack in
everyone.
tow. Who's carrying him? Who's like pulling him along?
I'll do it.
It's the 17-year-old.
Okay.
He's a robot.
So he's like, hey, listen, guys, I got some offshore accounts. I can hook up with a lot of cash. You just gotta let me go.
I'm like, Cash, finally. There's somebody in this story, I mean, in our lives, that has money. I say, we'll let you go, eventually.
All right. Sure.
Let's get the money from him. Tell him to give us the account information.
I was just going to say, I asked him for, like, his password and account number.
He's like, listen, just drop me off in the corner, and I'll wire it straight to you.
Nah. Nah.
We do
Wrong.
things
Other
in-
way around, I'm afraid.
He's like, listen, I can't go to Falcone. I'll do anything.
We just told you what you need to do, and you were like, "No, let me bargain with you a little bit."
You need to give us all your money, and you're
Don't
like,
really have any leverage.
okay, anything other than that.
Can someone start like hitting him on the knee with a hammer? Doesn't have to be a big one, like a small one will work.
Just like a tiny hammer.
He is
He
the
doesn't seem
hammer.
to understand the gravity of the situation yet.
He is the hammer, man.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like, why
the-
don't you
that's
why
the
don't you
irony.
show us that sweet deck?
Yeah.
So
So
mean.
he you can see like the fear creep into his eyes as he looks down at the Super Ruger the Ruger Super Warhawk. Do you have like at his back or something or?
Yeah. I mean,
What's the
Corinth
position?
is kind of like, I don't know, whatever, like bear hug carrying him, kicking and screaming, and I'm
Okay.
walking alongside of them, just calmly, kind of like flipping it on my finger a bunch, but you know,
He's like,
ain't that
I spent the last of my cash on that deck.
All
No,
right,
he doesn't have
just
any
said you had a
money.
bunch of money.
All right, we're
Let's-
definitely going to Falcone.
let's end this conversation and take him directly to Falcone.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
All right. He's like, you gotta let me go back. You don't even know how much those parts are worth. All right.
Can
So
we even kill this guy?
Then there's a tornado, and we're not really well liked there, so
Did you see that tornado? I can't go back
Going in
there.
yeah.
That thing's a murder
all
machine.
right.
Also,
You
we
guys
might have already
roll-
sent them a Yelp review, and like it wasn't very favorable. So, and we
So you
signed
guys
it.
roll back up to the horse trot ranch, where the fuck this place is called.
Sure. Help
Um,
somebody's home.
Sexton Street?
What do you guys? So you roll up. Nobody seems to like. Are you gonna call in ahead or?
No, we're not going to call ahead. We're going to show up unannounced.
Okay.
All ahead. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. What are we, a fucking delivery guy?
That being said, we probably pulled.
Actually,
into
you
the
call the
entrance.
delivery guy, and then
We should probably what?
We'll go into the back.
Just like the delivery guys.
That's true.
Okay.
Oh.
I mean,
Some
we're not them,
buttonholed.
but we're just like them.
Yeah.
backer.
Except for the fact that we're not calling ahead.
All right. So you walk into the back. You remember from before that there's a door that leads to Falcone's office. You guys want to? All right, what is the entrance like? Are you busting in, or are you like knocking?
No. I think we're just somewhere in between, right? I don't think we're knocking. I think we're just going. I don't know about busting in, as in like guns blazing, knocking doors down.
Bust in and just shoot everybody and say,
Is the
"Where's
door-
Falcone?" As the door is out on the ground.
Is his office door locked? Because not, then we're just open it.
He goes, "I'm dying," and you go, "Where's Falcone?"
That's not what I asked you.
Okay, so you step in and you can see Falcone sitting there. He's talking with like a uniformed officer, and they both like turn to look at you, and he says, "Who the hell are you?"
The uniformed officer or Falcone?
The uniformed officer.
Oh, because Falcone should know who we are.
Who the hell are you?
All right.
We're the ones busted in here asking questions.
Falcone turns to you and he says, "Who is this? This isn't Belenkai."
I think you know.
How do you know?
He stammers and he like sort of catches himself. He says, "And these men, these are the men who broke in, officer. Arrest them immediately."
Do I recognize this cop?
Ooh.
Uh,
Ooh. The plot thickens.
Yeah, of course you do.
Nice.
Yes,
This is
I'm
my
like,
boss.
hates you.
I'm like, Jenkins.
I think there's about like 150% chance that he hates you.
Oh yeah, I'm like Jenkins. Is that you? You slimy like hair dog.
Your fucking insults are so goddamn bad.
That's the point.
That's the name of our next game. How did you know?
Oh,
So I step
It's called
forward.
Kitty Kennedy in this case of the
I
slimy
step
hair.
forward and my hideous visage like comes into view, and I'm like about to open my mouth and say something else, and I raise my hand and I look down and I see like a suspiciously well ironed part of my sleeve, so I like rumple it up really quickly, and then I'm like, listen, Jenkins, what does he say when I like burst that out?
When you burst out, "Listen, Jenkins."
Well, no, like
Slimy hair
you
dog.
slimy hair dog.
Slimy hair dog.
How
He says,
dare
so
you?
listen.
He says,
you know what?
"Resorting to
Respond.
kidnapping, King." Is that what you come to?
I say, I always knew that your detective work was going to be pretty shitty. We didn't fucking kidnap anybody, you half breed. I assume
Hammerjack, like,
some kind of half
Apple like
breed.
half raises his hand.
What?
this is
Hammerjack
Hammerjack.
half raises his hand as you say, "We didn't kidnap anybody."
Pistol whip that fucker again.
I say, like, well, at least not the people that Falcone's talking to. I say, listen, we've been set up apparently from like 3 different angles, and we're a little bit tired of it. So why don't you do your actual goddamn job and arrest like both these guys?
No, listen. There's no like arresting that's gonna happen here. The kindly
I
officer.
know, I'm
is
just
going
trying to
like,
get the officer off our back.
Yeah, I know, but like, I'm not even certain to what extent anyone has committed a crime.
Okay,
I'm
all right.
Like,
fine.
it's kind of
Here's what I
difficult
do.
to tell.
I tell him not to. Well, I'm pretty sure they've both committed a lot of crimes, but actually,
Like everyone here has committed crimes, and the officer has definitely
fine.
committed crimes, right? But like,
instead of asking him to arrest them, I ask him to hang in the background as a now unnecessary NPC and listen while everybody exposits the answers to the mystery.
yeah, there you go. That's exactly what we want out of him.
In
All right,
those
that's fine.
exact words.
All right, so yeah, roll. So we can't do.
And then I ask
fuck it
him
up,
for
make it
medical
rain tips
supplies.
there.
Also, Johnny, like,
All right, so are you threatening him, or are you Are you appealing to the shared connection you once had as officers
Oh,
of the law?
I'm definitely appealing to the shared connection. I mean, so I'm just gonna say out of character that my slimy hair dog thing.
It's actually
maybe,
a compliment.
well, that's the thing. Well, maybe it was too subtle for anybody to pick up on because it's only in my own head. I was kind of thinking that the guy would be like, "Oh yeah, you like filthy bastard," like cop talk. And like,
Okay, all right, fair enough. So why don't you roll to seduce / manipulate this man?
all right, that's smooth. I'm guessing.
I wish it was seduce / manipulate / like charm, because those two options, there's something that leaves left to be desired between seduce.
So this
and
this
manipulate.
is more smooth, more of the thing I'm very bad at.
Yeah, but you know what? Since your connection is like being a hard ass, I will let you roll hard.
That seems fair. 7.
All right. He stands up, like hand on his gun, and he says, "I'll let you talk, but I'm calling for backup, and if I don't like your story, I'm taking you in, King. You're a bad influence. You're an embarrassment to the Force. I'd just as soon lock you away."
I mean, that's all true. That's all true.
Yeah, exactly. I look
That's fair, that's
at
fair.
him and I kind of grudgingly, I'm like, I'm kind of grudgingly like, at least your common sense as a cop is better than your fucking detective skills.
All
Really
right.
making a lot of sense.
I am a piece of shit, and he probably should call for backup. So like,
Okay, fair
I
enough.
definitely would.
All right, so Corinth, Hammerjack is sort of twisting in your arm. What are you doing here?
So I like walk towards Falcone's desk and like I throw Hammerjack towards him. I was like, here's your case. I was like, now it's for our payment.
He says, "Who the fuck is this?"
Say
I
this-
don't even want to tell this guy, tell Falcone either of this guy's names because if either of them were like,
No,
cast as my
Falcone-
look-
Falcone-
You can you want to keep playing stupid? Is that it?
Well, no, he might have never met him in real life, right? Like he might have never doesn't know who this is.
Are
Say,
you familiar with the names Void or Hammerjack
Hammerjack.
or I don't know, fucking Fruit Loops, whatever his third alias was?
because like if you are, I'm surprised your ears aren't currently bleeding. However, this is it.
He says, "Hammerjack," and the guy kind of like gives like a sheepish smile. He says, "It's been a fucking long time. What's this all about? Why is he here?"
Wait, do we know which persona is which to Falcone?
I think
He doesn't know. He doesn't recognize the name Void. Void is just a newer alias.
so. Whatever
so Void's
alias
the
he
one
was,
he posed for the kid or the ransoming thing.
I don't even think it was necessarily that. I don't think that like either of the interactions with Falcone we have names for him for.
Oh,
Anyway.
okay.
You don't have to worry about Blinky.
Ransom.
Blinky's fine. It's just part of his job. Like he'll be returned probably unharmed, and if not, like no one's the wiser. There was no real ransom demand associated with the kidnapping. That was made up by your friend Jackhammer over here, who holds some kind of a grudge against you for some kind of shady shit that I'm certain that you did in the past.
I'm sorry,
so-
Anathema, do not lend credence to his name by using a real word. You've got to call him Hammerjack. It's not Jackhammer.
No, I'd never call people by their actual name. And then, so he was the one who made the ransom demand. He's also the one who you hired to try to frame us, which is a personal affront.
We don't appreciate that.
And given a suitable amount of compensation, we might be able to overlook. But emphasis on the suitable.
We'll overlook all the porn that's happening on this ranch right now.
The
Also,
bullshit that's going on here.
When Anathema mentions the part about how this is the guy that you hired to frame us, I like cock my eyebrows at Jenkins, and I'm like, "You taking notes, douchebag?"
All right, so Falcone like kind of steeples his fingers and he says, "Well, I am a generous man. So, despite the fact that you did not fulfill the terms of our contract, I will pay you the agreed upon bonus for finding my blackmailer. But since Belinky remains out of hand, I don't see how I could possibly pay for that."
All right, we'll be back tomorrow for the rest of our payment then.
No.
He's not released.
Well, like it would have
No.
been safer for Blanky for us to just leave him with his.
We'll just say like,
handle it.
and give him the locations. Go pick him up.
Listen,
He says, "Yeah, go ahead."
it is preferable for literally everyone involved that Blinky remain where he is.
He's basically at a corporate retreat.
Like it's just there's no situation in which like someone's going to be helped by Blinky coming back here before he will be automatically returned here.
But like,
Right.
what the fuck do we care? Like, let him go screw up his relationship with Link. Aries he can have the location if it pays us.
Because then he's just gonna try to fuck with the other Shadowrunners. Like, I would rather that he pays us because he tried to frame us, and that way we don't kill him and take everything he owns. Instead of this, like, horse shit, we're making a deal, like, we'll let you go try to get your guy from someone else, and it's really fine. Like, we're okay with this, like, your plan to sell us out to the cops, that's okay.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
personally,
King
I got
nods.
shot. I'm not okay with it. And I recognize that that's actually King's fault and not this guy's fault. But sometimes you have to, like, externalize your anger not towards
Yeah.
its actual source.
King was
All
like
right,
nodding
all right.
along the whole
We'll
time.
do it
He's
your
like,
way.
"Yeah,
Just
let's
don't-
just get paid," and he's
Don't
like,
summon any
"Wait."
elementals, all right? Until I get
Listen.
outside.
That's right. That's the question, is whether or not we're going to summon an elemental.
All right. So are you gonna threaten him or?
Yes.
Okay. All right, sure. So make him sweat, and I'll give you +1 because I think what you're saying makes sense.
It was also a really good speech, so
It was a good speech. Actually, I turned to Jenkins and asked him what he thought of it.
Jenkins is like,
Jenkins, what do you think of that speech?
not bad. Okay. So Falcone kind of like exhales like he's annoyed. "You're lucky I need to avoid a scene. Fine, I'll pay you the agreed upon sum, but
Dude, we're in the middle of a scene right now.
I don't want to see or hear from you ever again."
That's great. We
That
don't want to
could be
see or hear
arranged.
from you ever again.
That sounds like a deal. And a word of advice. When you're dealing with Shadowrunners, just pay them their money. And if you're not going to, kill them. Don't call the cops. That's some childish bullshit.
All right, Jenkins is like,
He's like, that,
he's
that
like
was
taking
some
notes.
childish
He's like
bullshit.
sitting there like, pay Shadowrunners.
So he feels thoroughly exposited too.
all right. So you guys see the credits appear in your account, and
Oh,
I guess you're gonna head back home to enjoy the spoils.
I thought you were
Yeah,
going
we're
for
gonna
like
go back to that
the
college like
credits
arcade
roll
bar.
up your screen as the story ends. That's what I thought you were going for.
Can we go
What's
be
that?
friends with the Sioux? Because
They seem like some cool people. Maybe we go back to the Sioux bar.
Yeah, you guys can make contacts out of the opposing Shadowrunner team.
I want
the
some
opposing.
here.
Like,
Oh well, the other Shadowrun
Parallel.
team.
yeah.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean that more or less concludes Best Served Cold. I will say for my part that I enjoyed this crew, and I would be interested in doing more Shadowrun adventures with it. But for now, if you guys want to give a short epilogue about what your character is going to do with their cash, it doesn't have to be more than a couple sentences. I'm just interested in what their takeaway from the situation was. So,
All right.
wanna go down the line?
Sure. Yeah, Tusk spends exorbitant amount to fix his favorite arcade game back at the arcade. And after many hours, sets a personal high score.
Nice.
Anathema spends like a good chunk of change on a real doctor to get patched up. Another good chunk of the change on a real mechanic to dig some of the bullet holes out of the van and patch it up a little bit. And the rest to take the head of the parallel Shadowrunning group out on a date.
Oh, I like it. All right. All right, Corinth.
I thought King was next, but
Oh, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Oh, I didn't know we were even going in a specific.
Yeah,
order.
I'm setting people up left and right here.
All right, fine. I'll go. King, a little bit, disheartened by the whole situation. Basically, feeling like he's too old for even this. I was already too old to be a cop. Now I'm too old to be an ex-cop. Shit.
Okay.
Decides to retire from Shadowrunning, at least unless he's recalled for another story. Decides to retire from Shadowrunning, goes out, buys himself, goes to like a thrift store and finds a pair of like ex-cop type shoes that are even more scuffed up than the ones he already has. Puts them on, goes to see his old pal Jenkins, and convinces him to go into business as new distributors of the urine beer from the Sioux Bar. And that like urine beer, whatever it was.
This was elaborate, and it's over now.
Anyway, they go into business together.
Okay.
And it's great.
That sounds awesome.
Spin-off. There's a whole spin-off, but I don't want to go into it right now.
No, let's not.
It's a totally different show. All right, Corinth.
So Corey and Corinth spend pretty much 100% of the money that was earned on trying to get both a good psychologist and some sort of neuroscientist to try to meld the personalities or something like that but it straight up doesn't work, and it ends up with actually one of those dead, and we're not sure which one it was because
holy smokes,
just kind of fled the scene.
Interesting. All right, guys. Well, I really enjoyed playing Shadowrun with you. I think you guys did a great job. And that concludes Shadowrun Best Served Cold. All right. If you have been watching this on YouTube, you can come check out our Twitch channel. We play every 7:30 Eastern, or every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Next week we'll be jumping back into Trail of Cthulhu. We'll be finishing up our Bangkok adventure, which is spread to the Gulf of Siam. And if you're watching this on Twitch TV, go check out our YouTube channel. We've got all our old videos up there. And enjoy. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks, guys, for playing, and everybody have a good night.